A new USA Today Suffolk University poll reveals President Joe Biden is losing support from key groups who turned out for him in 2020. Here is White House Press Secretary Jean-Pierre when asked about those numbers.
The president has always put equity at the center of every policy he's put forward. We get it. We get that it's going to take a little bit of time for folks to feel what the Bidenomics has been able to do.
CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins us now from the White House. Ed, great to have you here. What's your latest reporting, Ed, on how the Biden White House, especially the top advisors inside the building behind you, are approaching some of this talk inside the Democratic Party, inside political circles, about the perceived loss of support among some groups that were key backers of him in 2020?
A few things, Bob. First off, they continue to say it's still early. And I've asked now for the definition of early, and I'm told it's roughly April. So this continues to be a problem for them after April. Then I think they really begin to get much more worried. They see the numbers we're seeing. They understand even in their own internal numbers that things are perhaps softer than they would like to see. But they began outreach to these groups of voters last summer, which is a departure for most Democratic campaigns, something that they say is designed to help them win in November 2024. They're not concerned as much about winning right now or evidence that they're, doing gangbusters with those people at this stage. They're more worried about building to next fall. The other thing they keep in mind is we have a dynamic this year, and our own Anthony Salvanto in our polling unit has called this out, a dynamic this year where you have essentially two incumbents running against each other, right? One is the challenger to the sitting incumbent, but the other one has basically been around so long now and is running again for his old job that, in essence, you have two incumbents running against each other and some other options out there. One of the things that USA Today poll exposed again is, especially among younger voters, this intrigue and interest in third-party or other options beyond the Democrat and the Republican. There's a growing belief among Democratic pollsters, at least, that that's partly because younger voters who don't have much personal connection or affinity for either of these older frontrunners might at least want to explore at this stage the possibility of somebody else. So that's RFK Jr., that's Cornel West, Marianne Williamson, and Dean Phillips on the Democratic side. And we'll see if anyone else gets in. Joe Manchin, of course, is going to start making some trips to New Hampshire later this month. So That's part of what they're seeing. But otherwise, they work towards November 2024 and know they've got a lot of work to do in the meantime. And we're expected to hear in the coming days a little more about their plans for early in the year, especially as Republicans are sorting out who exactly their nominee will be.
Ed, I think back to that 2004 Democratic primary where some voters said they were going to date Dean and marry Kerry. They would flirt with voting for Howard Dean, but ultimately they would settle with John Kerry, the candidate they thought could be the best possible nominee for the Democratic Party. That was a primary race, of course. But is there an expectation, I'm hearing this from some Democrats, that there's frustration, it's going to be reflected in the polls, but ultimately Democratic voters will come home to President Biden, especially if former President Trump becomes the Republican nominee, and the stakes are seen as very high because he's not seen by many Democrats as a typical Republican. He's someone who some Democrats talk about as a threat, a dire threat to American democracy due to the insurrection on January 6th and his conduct in and around that day. What are Democrats doing to reassure themselves, if anything, that all of this consternation about border policy, about the president's age, the economy, will somehow fade away once the general election comes into focus?
Because they believe that while people may want to pick up on your reminder of what was said in 2004, date Dean Phillips maybe, or cuddle with Kennedy in the meantime. Sorry for that image, but you get the idea. That ultimately they're going to come
I take
home.
Responsibility for even bringing up 2004. I teed it up for you, Ed.
But either way, the idea is that, yes, when they realize, if it is Trump as expected, that it's him on the Republican side and that your next best option is Joe Biden, that they'll come home. They point to the fact that even if it isn't Donald Trump now, they say, look, MAGA has poisoned, in essence, the entire Republican field. Look no further than what happened to Nikki Haley in New Hampshire, where she couldn't explain in a way that many would find appropriate these days what exactly the Civil War was fought over. That is something they'll use against her should she somehow make it to the general election round, either as the presidential or vice presidential candidate. Look at all the rhetoric that the former president continues to spew about the press or about Democrats or about career prosecutors and judges. All of that, they say, is a collective portfolio that will be used to prosecute the case against him. And while the economy may be on the rebound, and that will fade perhaps as at least, if not the dominant issue, there'll be other issues to talk about. The other one, yes, that they're likely to fall back on is what happened 3 years ago this Saturday, January 6th, and all of the erosion or attempts to erode democratic institutions in this country and the general just principle of truth. They believe, Democrats do, that that's still, when poll tested or when voters are reminded about it, ultimately brings people back into the Biden fold, even if they're not entirely jazzed about it.
Ed, quickly, is there any trepidation, even a little bit, about Congressman Dean Phillips of Minnesota doing better than expected in New Hampshire, where President Biden isn't on the ballot?
Not as of January 2nd, 2024, but we've got, 21 days until New Hampshire? We'll see. For now, no concern. And if there were, we'd be seeing evidence of the Biden-Harris campaign trying to do something more organized in New Hampshire. There is no evidence of that as of tonight. No plans I'm aware of for them to go either to send the president, vice president, or to do more.
Well, I won't be seeing President Biden then at the Red Arrow Diner anytime soon. Ed O'Keefe, thank you for your reporting.